The Philadelphia Eagles are world champs. Our former Philadelphia Eagle. Your big picture headline thoughts of this game was what, Mike?
Yeah, I was just surprised that the Philadelphia Eagles was able to come out and just really overpower the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, they came out flat. They had no energy. And before you know it, they was down 24-0. Worthy, Kelsey, they only had one catch going into the half. And so, I was not impressed with what the Kansas City Chiefs came out and did. I expected a lot more, and I expected Patrick to bring this team back, but he couldn't do it. The Philadelphia Eagles was just on top of their game from start to finish.
To speak to the dominance of what the Philadelphia Eagles were able to do and shut down Patrick Mahomes, he didn't even get past midfield until late in the third quarter. Your takeaway from this one was what, Charles?
Yeah, I thought, Mike talked about that team being overpowered. I watched I was telling Julian, we were on the sideline watching, the Chiefs come out of the locker room, and watching it and looking at their line and thinking about being on the field against, in the Eagles game against the Commanders a couple of weeks ago and looking at their line, their defensive line. That's why they got overpowered. And so my takeaway is that this defense came out and they dominated. They dominated in a fashion like two teams that I played, same team but two different years, the New York Giants. Because they could always get to Aaron Rodgers with four guys.
Right.
They never really had to send anybody. Yeah, no blitz. Never had to send anybody extra, and had A-Rod running around, and that's what they did to Patrick Mahomes, who is the greatest quarterback that we have playing right now. And then I talked about in the pregame show about there was going to be impact made by rookies in this game. And we got a young man whose birthday was today. He caught an interception for a touchdown, his first interception. And this man takes his thing in for a touchdown.
To the house.
And Quinyon Mitchell with a big hit that kind of set the tone early in the game, man. So the dominance of this defense, it's always great to see dominance take the front seat.
I know what you're
going to
say, that defense. You want to
say defense.
Look, hey, Jalen Hurts.
Because it's the truth. Win
championship.
It does.
Jalen Hurts said himself.
It was a little similar to the last time the Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes had a lot of pressure by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I want to get over to Kellen Moore. I called him out early in the pregame saying he was going to come out here and put a show on in front of his potential home stadium and his home people. And that's what he did. You take a look at the stats. They stayed in with what got him here. He ran the ball 36 times. They only threw the ball 22 times. They controlled the game. It was long, methodical drives. And it seemed like he just called the right play at the right time. The Devontae Adams shot to seal it. I mean, it was Devontae Smith. It was a very good game plan by Kellen Moore.
How surprised are you, Charles, with the inability of, we know what Andy Reid's second half adjustments, what he can do, that they weren't able to get anything going in the second half and the whole game, but even with the halftime adjustment?
Honestly, I think Mike said it when he was just talking a second ago. They kind of look off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like they played with the same energy and intensity as the Philadelphia Eagles. And then again, I can't say enough about this Eagles defensive line. The last time this team played, you remember that Eagles team, they had 70 sacks in the regular season. But when they got to that Super Bowl, they didn't sack Mahomes. Today was a totally different story. We're talking about 6 sacks on Mahomes, but we talk about countless pressures at all. Along with that. But this defensive line, man, they had him stressed out all day. He was not letting the ball go with conviction all day. Every time he threw the ball, it looked like he was a little bit hesitant and a little bit gun-shy.
And then when your offense gives you that lead for the defense, then you can just let them rip.
You know what they say? Pin your ears back.
Exactly.
Pin your ears back. But the important thing, let me take this back. We talked about, again, this is another pregame thing that we talked about, is not rushing past the quarterback, rushing to the level of the quarterback, and then closing the pocket.
Collapsing.
That's what they did. Collapsing. Mahomes could not escape through those B gaps.
And they know what they're looking at when they're building teams. So I got to give a lot of credit to Howie Roseman.
Unbelievable job
Nick
that he's done.
Sirianni, all those guys in the front office who made today happen.
And I don't need to tell you about this, but Philadelphia media and fans, they don't have a lot of patience. When you saw the skid at the end of last year, then they started out the season 2-2, and we're going to talk of firing Sirianni. You also bring in 2 new coordinators. Let's not forget, these are 2 new coordinators on both sides of the ball. So all of these different things going on. What impressed you most, Jules, about what the Eagles were able to do this year?
Well, I want to go to something else. I want to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, they've been to this game 3 times in a row. We got to give them some credit. Back-to-back Super Bowl champs have never got to the Super Bowl. And I'm telling you right now, they ran out of gas because they've played in such long seasons.
Yep.
I know firsthand, when you go to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row, you get worn down. They got shorter off seasons. They have a lot more they have everyone gunning for them. So, I mean, they look like they ran out of gas, but they ran out of gas for a reason because they just had a 3-year run that was a hell of a run.
Well, there's a reason it's never happened before.
How you look at it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And we're going to hear now from Andy Reid at the podium. Let's take a listen. Right now, hello, A.J. Brown.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Whoa. Super Bowl champion.
You're right. I stand corrected. Here with your beautiful family. Congratulations. Now, this is some inner excellence.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself. I'm proud of this team. You know, for moments like these, man, the hard work, the sacrifices, it's what it's for.
No doubt.
Hey, so the name of the book you was reading was Inner Excellence?
Uh-huh.
All right, so that's what you were reading on the journey.
Yeah.
Getting you through the season.
Yeah.
I got to know what's the next book you're going to read in celebration of the Super Bowl.
I don't know what's next. I may just pick it up and read it again because we got to start all over. We got to start all over and start again.
Yep.
AJ, coming over from Tennessee and then to Philadelphia, I was ecstatic when you got here, man. It's been a big transformation in your career, but you got to be satisfied with just the outcome of everything, regardless of how it looked.
Yeah. It's truly a blessing. You know, I appreciate my time in Tennessee, but Howie came and got me, and Howie does a great job each and every year preparing us and getting a great team together, and I'm glad he did. And you know, and his team went through tough times. Came up short one time, got here. Then the next year we crumbled a little bit, but it's all worth it. 2 years later, it's worth it.
AJ, you get my note?
Yeah, I got your note.
Man, I'm so proud of you, man. I remember talking to you your rookie year.
Uh-huh.
Now you're a Super Bowl champion. Now, when you scored, you guys were up 24. How important was it to build that lead?
It's very important. You know, we know who we were going against. Everybody was just trying to tell everybody to just stay calm and stay locked in because of Pat Mahomes. He's a great quarterback, and we know what he's capable of. And we were just trying to just keep going, keep our foot on their neck.
I will fill in the blanks for those of you that don't know. Julian, when we were kind enough, the Eagles were kind enough to let us go take a locker room tour in our pregame coverage, and Julian wrote you a note and left it in your locker. Do you care to share what might be on that note?
No, I'm not going to share.
Okay,
I'm not going to share.
Enough.
It meant the world to me. You know, I've been a fan of Julian for a long time. I grew up a Patriots fan. So this guy is very special to me.
Yeah.
You know, I watched him year after year, him and Tom. You know, those guys are very special to me.
How do you describe the emotion you're feeling right now?
Just surreal. It's truly a blessing. I'm so happy for the city. I'm happy for our team. You know, man, the city needed this one.
Hey,
Sure.
tell me about, man, what it meant to have. We just had Saquon Barkley on the desk. Man goes over 2,000 yards. I think over the season it's 2,500 or something crazy like that. Just tell me what your personal relationship is with him, and then what he meant to this team coming over here this year.
He means the world to us, man. He's a great leader, a great person, most importantly, and what he does on the field